Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, October 31st. Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm Brett, your Thankful Carnivore, with today's Thankful Carnivore Report. I appreciate folks taking time out of their day as my phone thing starts to move around in the direction I'm not happy with. There we go. That's better. Anyway, I hope you're having a great morning. Appreciate folks taking time out of their day to hang out with me, listen to me babble about things. Um, this is Dad, Dr. Baker at Halloween. I want to give you some updates on Dad. I just spoke with Mom a while ago. I talk to her every Tuesday and Thursday mornings. And Dad's not had a good couple of days. He's the truth of the matter is he's in a very bad place, and but he hasn't gotten worse for the last week, but his quality of life, unfortunately, is very poor, and the dementia's starting to gain a bit greater hold, and it's just a very sad situation. And I want to encourage everybody who thinks type 2 diabetes really isn't a big deal to go back and listen to my videos of when I mentioned my dad and his what's happening to him, because it's not a pretty scene at all, people. I don't want to get into all the ugly details while he's on this side of the grass. I'll wait until such time as he's passed from this life to talk about those things. But I'm going to tell you right now, you want no part of type 2 diabetes at the end game, and you want no part of dementia. You really don't. And I think that people who take those possibilities lightly are doing themselves a great disservice, because those things are horrible. I cannot think of a more horrible way to spend my last days on planet Earth than what my dad's going through. All right, that's the downside of today's discussion. But see, it's not really a downside. The truth of the matter is, we suffer the consequences for the choices we make. And let what's happening with my dad be an example for all of what not to do. Don't feed your sugar addiction. You're going to suffer horribly eventually. All right, I want to talk about Dr. Sean Baker's upcoming book, The Carnivore Diet. It's going to be released November 19th. I have it on from an extremely reliable source. I'm not going to mention Joe Anderson's name on here. Oops. And because he and Charlene were blessed to get a copy, and that's great. And I learned from Joe yesterday that on pages 160 and 161 of Dr. Baker's book, my story, I'm just one of many now, but my story is featured on those 2 pages. I know Chris Donahue's in the book. I don't know who else is. So I'm in the dark on that, but I am so excited. I am so happy to be a part of this, to know that many people are going to be reached, that need to be reached, that otherwise might never have given a thought to the idea of eating meat and drinking water as a viable way of living. But mental illness and the desire to get healthy will do that to a person, I'm telling you. I know from personal experience. But it's a real honor, and I want to thank Dr. Baker now, and I'll be doing it again regularly, probably the rest of my life, for including me in his book. And I just am very thankful that this opportunity to share my experience was given to me. And so I haven't gotten, I'm sure Dr. Baker was only able to get so many, copies ahead of time. And we've got one on order with Amazon. I never expected a free, my goodness, at least I could do is chip it and buy my own book. That's my thinking. but I'm just happy. We're a little over a month away. Well, no, we're less than a month away now from its release. We got about 3 weeks now, 2 3 weeks, and 20 days, and that book will be out, and everybody will be able to get it, and the word will spread, and this groundswell of goodness that we see every day across social media. With every day I see dozens of new people trying the carnivore way of eating, dozens of new people trying the ketogenic keto diet. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and this book, in my opinion, is just another tool that lets the world know we don't have to suffer. Again, I want to thank Dr. Baker for including my story in it. Please check this book out when it comes out. There's a lot of very powerful stories that are going to be in there. Chris Donahue's story is spectacular. He's living proof of somebody who's determined, and is going to succeed, is succeeding, and is going to ultimately reach his goals. His weight loss goals, his personal goals. He's a good man. His story is very powerful. I know that's in the book for sure. I feel confident that the Andersons are in there, and as I've said before, they are the two greatest silent ambassadors of carnivory that we have, in my opinion. They're living, breathing proof that eating meat and drinking water over 20 years will not harm you. And I think that's quite profound. The last thing I want to talk about this morning is Halloween. The trick-or-treating and the candy and the traditions and all this. And there's a lot of people, oh, you got to let those kids eat candy. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to give out candy. You could give out uncontaminated beef jerky. Carnivore bars. You could give there's things you could give out besides candy. I openly discourage participating in another human being's sugar addiction at all times, wherever reasonably possible. Now, you're not going to, at a family event for a funeral or something, you're not going to make a big fit about somebody eating fruit or whatever, because it's an inappropriate setting to throw a fit about anything. Common sense, people, got to use it. My point is, we don't have to give out candy. Kids can enjoy Halloween without eating candy. There's alternatives. Can gather up at churches with community centers and do other things besides go out begging for candy. Now, I'm not against kids getting out and celebrating Halloween and dressing up. I'm not against knocking on doors and giving a trick or a treat. But the treat needs to be healthy. And I don't mean vegan healthy, because that's a non sequitur. It needs to be an animal source food product that's good for small children of any age to consume, that doesn't contribute or enhance or maintain an addiction to a substance we do not need to consume. With those thoughts in mind, I want to thank all of you for your kind messages these past few days. A lot of people have asked about Dad. I thank you for your thoughts and prayers. The carnivore community is just the kindest, nicest group of people. I'm telling you, the keto folks are just the same, just good folks you just enjoy talking with. Thank you all so much. Peace be with you all. Eat your meat, drink your water, do the things you need to do to take care of you, my friends. And I'll be back here tomorrow. Be thankful.